Okay, so hello everybody. So good afternoon. So today I'll be discussing to you on how you're going to write your application letter and as well as your resume. Now this is for the purposive communication subject. So I don't have my book with me. However, thank you so much for the students who give or who sent the pictures of the parts that we're going to discuss for the supposedly in our class. However, due to an inevitable circumstance, so you need to stay home and stay safe. Okay, so I hope that you will also watch this video so that you can have enough information on how you're going to write your application letter and as well as your resume. Okay, so starting off, we'll have here how are you going to write or the application letter first. Now, for the application letter, this is one of the most crucial or the critical factors that can affect the applicant's chances of being hired. So that's why if ever, for example, you're going to look for a job, make sure that you have a well-written application letter because that's actually a plus point in the for in your prospective employer. That will be a plus point because it can encourage them or it can yeah, you can encourage them that you have a very that you can do the job. It's because you know how to write an application letter and you know how to sell all the credentials that you have or the qualities or the potentials that you have. So the application letter speaks about you. So it tells about your personality, about your values, and about your overall potential as an employee. A well written letter will speak of responsibility, intelligence, and discipline. A badly written letter, of course, will speak of the lack of these what you call essential qualities. So your application letter, more often than not, may significantly increase your chances of success. So I know other people would say probably that it's not really with regards to the application letter and resume, or let's say for example, their credentials and so on and so forth. However, the point here is that if you know how to write your application letter, it's an additional point to your a plus point rather to your respective employer because this will give them the initial or the first impression. So let's discuss first on how you're going to write your application letter. But before that, you need to know that in writing your application letter, it should be in short size. That's 8.5 by 11 or the short or the letter bond paper. So do not use long bond paper. Do not use long bond paper. Instead, use short bond paper. Um, as a matter of fact, 9 out of 10 companies expect letters to be written in paper size. So failure to do so would indicate ignorance. So I haven't seen, I just don't know, maybe I just haven't seen, but most most of us or most of the people would actually send or yeah would send their resume and application letter with the use of short size pen paper. Next is the style on how you're going to write your application letter and resume should be, or I mean, your application letter is full block. Now it's easier because full block is everything is at the side, so you don't need to use indentation because it's full block, meaning to say everything is in the side. The letterhead, the date, the inside address, the greeting. Oh no, the yeah the inside address, the greeting, the body, the complimentary close, and as well as the signature. So these parts of your application letter is found at the side. So everything is at the side, so it's easier. So the first part is the letterhead. This is located, that's why it's called letterhead because our head is located at the topmost of our body. So same thing, the letterhead is located at the topmost part of your letter and essentially this letterhead contains the name of the owner of the letter. However, there are some application letters wherein they do not anymore have this letterhead. Because letterhead usually if ever for example that you wanted your prospective employer to what they call send to give their feedback or to send you a letter or as a form of response or a feedback with regards to your application letter and resume. So there are what they call some companies who are sending them the letters or I mean the feedback or the response with the use of the letterhead because the letterhead is composed of course the return information of the what do you call this one, the owner of the letter. So we have there the name, the address, and the contact number. However, there are what we call privacy invasions, identity theft, and other security issues. So applicants are no longer encouraged to include their complete address in the return information. And the two essential items are we have email address and the contact information. So this contact information is your mobile number. The email must also look formal. Ideally, your email may contain your name. Avoid addressing like QTPI123, boss12, boss123, and so on. What's it? Edge cell or any names that are not reflecting your name as much as possible. If you're going to put that in your application letter or in your resume, it's informal. So you have to make your own email wherein the address is actually it's actually formal. So because if ever that you're going to use the cutie pie 123, the let's say the butterfly or the princess one, and so on and so forth, this may give the wrong impression of your maturity, because obviously you're looking for a job, you're not actually trying to look cute in your application letter. So that's why you have to use address, email address, or the email address that is formal. So again, for usually for the letterhead, it's in the name, address, and contact number. However, due to some cases that we need to avoid, it's only the full name, email address, and the contact number. So they do not anymore include the exact address. Next part is we have here the in this part it's the letterhead, but I mean the inside address, but I just would like to emphasize as well that the next part would be the date. Okay, we have the date. Now for the date, make sure that you have to write it in two ways. It could be with the use of American style or the UK style. Now for the American style, so that's the usual thing that we use. That's April 4. Let's say today is April 4. So April 4, 2020, that's American style. And if you want to use the UK style, you can also use that. So we oftentimes the day is before, or yeah, the day is before the month. So that's for April 2020. So like this one. So hope that you can see. So we have here April 4, 2020. This is for the American style, and the 4 April 2020, this is for the UK style. So both are accepted in what do you call this one? In writing your application letter or the date of your application letter. Okay, wait, I'll be back. Just one quick moment.